My name is Vaughn Wascovich. I am an associate professor at Texas A&M University. Prior to that, I was at the University of Missouri, and prior to that, I taught at Columbia College in Chicago. I grew up in Youngstown, Ohio, and so I'm from here. I don't know that I could photograph this the same way if I weren't from here. You know, I'll be out shooting these bridges and I'm like, oh yeah, this absolutely, it's like I walk around and there are ghosts of my past. And sometimes it's a little disconcerting, but other times I really love that and I feel at ease. So that's really important to me, to have that sense of place and a sense of belonging, really. I think there were three things that really, when we first talked about this project, that I thought of. I mean, the first was I immediately picked up Friedlander's Factory Valleys book. It was a book that really influenced me quite a bit. I remember going to the show at the Akron Art Museum, and you know, I remember plunking down the $50, but back in 1982 that was a lot of money for me, you know, but it was a really important book, and I've had that book ever since, and I brought it with me on this trip. Another influence was Henry Peter Boss's book, Views Along the Mississippi, and these are cyanotypes that he did in the late 1800s of the Mississippi River and the bridges and some of the buildings along the way and some of the boats and stuff. And that was really, I think that was an important book for me as well in thinking about this process and in thinking about landscape photography in general. What I love about the Pinhole is that you don't know what you're going to get. And you know, it can be a frustrating process because you don't know what you're going to get, but it allows for the happy accident. So with Pinhole, I don't see it, I can't see the composition. I sort of roughly know where it is. I just look at the angles of the box and kind of figure out, okay, this is where it's going to, this is where the edge of the frame might be, but I'm never really entirely sure. And then with the processing, the way I do it, the composition isn't complete until the image has been processed. My processing is I would say, unique. One of the things I try to do is, I would say, everything I can do wrong. You know, I know all the rules about processing and putting the negative in a tray and being gentle with it and being gentle with the agitation and everything, and so I try to do whatever I can to screw things up. So I'll use old developer, I'll use old fixer, I will use hot water, I'll sometimes put the chemistry on wrong, or I'll use the powder form and just sprinkle it on the paper negative. You know, it's sort of this weird little, you know, interpretive dance, and fortunately it's dark and nobody gets to see me do it. The scale's a tricky thing, and it's a strange thing because we have printers that print large, people make big prints, and I hope that these aren't falling into some trap of like, well, just make them really big. I think these prints need to be big. I mean, certainly I've made them at various sizes and look at them. I look at them at the size of the paper negative is 8 by 20 inches. I'll print them at 10 by 25. I print them at 16 by 40. And what happens is the bigger they get, what it allows you to do is, as you get close to the image, you get to study the marks that the processing makes, and then as you stand back, you see the subject that I'm photographing. And I think there's a really beautiful interplay there as you move forward and backward that you don't get when the print is small. And because the negative is so large, they hold up really, really well large. And I love going into them and seeing the details, whether it's a bolt on the bridge or how, you know, the powdered fixer responds to the wet developer or something. So there's that really beautiful push-pull. I think it was Robert Morris's piece, A Box with the Sound of Its Own Making, that has informed this work, in that what I'm trying to do with the processing marks and everything is to show how the piece is made and show the process of the act of photographing, and so that the end result then is like, you know, it's sort of like a photograph with the marks of its own making.
That's good.
I like that. That was a good one, wasn't it?